With more than 160 species of game fish, Danube Delta truly a fisherman's paradise. Trophy-size catfish, carp, pike, sturgeon and more thrive in the hundreds of lakes and rivers that dot the land of Romania.
Good morning, guys! So today is our rest day. And you know that we are living here in the island and we're surrounded by the river. And tomorrow, may pasok ulit kami. So, kapag rest day namin at gusto namin mag-inom, so, syempre, dapat hinay-hinay lang kasi may pasok kami kinabukasan. Pag nakakailang bote na, tama na. May pasok bukas. Mga ganon. So, today, papakita ko naman yung mga ganap namin kapag wala kaming pasok. So, today, napag-usapan namin na mag-fishing kami kasi mainit sa labas. So, mag-fishing tayo. Papakita ko sa inyo yung mga surroundings sa labas. Mga surroundings namin sa labas. So, ayun, mag-prepare na ako. Pa!
Fishing, also called angling, the sport of catching fish, freshwater or saltwater. Typically with rod, line, and hook, like hunting, fishing originated as a means of providing food for survival. Fishing as a sport, however, is of considerable antiquity. An Egyptian angling scene from about 2000 BCE shows figures fishing with rod and line and with nets. A Chinese account from about the 4th century refers to fishing with a silk line, a hook made from a needle, and a bamboo rod, with cooked rice as bait. Fishing are also found in ancient Greek, Assyrian, Roman, and Jewish writings. Today, despite increased human populations creating a great number of demands on rivers and lakes, fishing for sport remains one of the most popular forms of outdoor recreation in the world. The problems of the modern angler fundamentally remain the same as those of every angler who came before. Where to find fish and how to best tempt them into being taken. The angler must understand wind and weather, the nature of the quarry, and the ways of the water. Early history of fishing. One of humankind's earliest tools was the predecessor of the fishhook, average, that is, a piece of wood, bone, or stone 1 inch to 5 cm or so in length, pointed at both ends and secured off-center to the line. The gorge was covered with some kind of bait. When a fish swallowed the gorge, a pull on the line wedged it across the gullet of the fish, which could then be pulled in. With the advent of the use of copper and bronze, a hook was one of the first tools made from metal. This was attached to a hand-operated line made of animal or vegetable material of sufficient strength to hold and land a fish. The practice of attaching the other end of the line to arid, at first probably a stick or tree branch, made it possible to fish from the bank or shore and even to reach over vegetation bordering the water. For over 1,000 years, the fishing rod remained short, not more than a few feet, a meter or so in length. The earliest references to a longer, jointed rod are from Roman times. About the 4th century, as with the earliest rods made from streamside branches, the first longer rods were made of wood, which would continue as the dominant rod material well into the 19th century. The first period of great improvement came about the mid-17th century, when Izaak Walton and Girls Cotton were writing the classic Complete Angler. During this time, an angler might attach a wire loop or ring at the tip end of the rod, which allowed a free-running line, useful for both casting and playing a hooked fish. This method intensified the need to develop a means of taking up and storing longer lines and led to the invention of the fishing reel. Fishermen are attracted to Romanian water basins for the incredible possibilities. Catfish is the largest and most sought after in the Romanian Delta. The current record is 400 kilograms. A few years ago, someone caught a catfish weighing some 100 kilograms as well. Though such godsends are not frequent, a 20 kilograms fish is quite common. Catfish is splendid in the Sulina and Chilia branches of the Danube Delta July through October. As for other kinds of fish, the areas of Centigirki village, Channel 5, and Lake Sino are abundant in pike perch. Fly fishing in Romania, and Romania per se, they both sound interesting, but you're a bit unsure of what to expect there. Here are some of the reasons why the visit to Romania is worth it. One particularly interesting thing to find out about Romania, especially when talking to fly fishers, is that Romania has 66.0 kilometers of rivers, whereas almost 20.0 kilometers are mountain ones and over 16.6 kilometers are rivers. Whereas almost 20.0 kilometers are mountain ones and over 16.6 kilometers are rivers, where wild salmonids are masters of disguise. Beautiful mountain rivers, rivers that cut their way through massive limestone formations, through hard granite or dark tuff, rivers that are crystalclear or milky. The fish which follow your lures in these waters are mainly chub, perch, barbel and carp, competing with the rapid, eager pikes. Romania is a blessed country, being nowadays a well-known European destination for ecotourists. Romanian biological diversity is one of the highest and best preserved in whole Europe. Now internationally recognized, Romania is the country with by far the highest number of bears, wolves and lynxes in Europe. Romania's rivers, lakes and ponds are home to numerous species of freshwater fish, most importantly carp, Prussian carp, chub, trout, perch, zander, bream, pike, roach and Thewel's catfish. Additionally, 6 species of sturgeon live in the Black Sea, but travel upriver on Danube in order to mate for. The most well-known of these 6 species is probably the beluga sturgeon, which is heavily fished for the female's volubularo known as beluga caviar. The saltwater fish of Romania are the Black Sea species of fish that live in the territorial waters of Romania. A 2005 biodiversity inventory of the Romanian waters identified around 140 species and subspecies of marine fish. Other species that can be found on the Romanian coast include 2 species of rays, 2 species of sharks and dozens of species of Delistine fish. Illegal fishing and caviar trafficking that threaten the survival of Danube sturgeon 9 are part of a global phenomenon of wildlife crime. Romania is not also rich in different kind of fish but also in wild ducks and birds. Majestic, beautiful and graceful, swans are large aquatic birds closely related to geese and ducks. There are several species of swan, differing in size, color and behavior: the black swan, mute swan, black-necked swan, trumpeter swan, tundra swan. Swans have streamlined bodies, long necks and webbed feet. Their wings are very strong, making them able to fly short distances despite being such heavy birds. Their incredibly strong wings can cause fatal injuries to other animals. A male swan is called a cob, a female swan is a pen, and a baby swan is a cygnet. Swan couples establish strong bonds, Some mate for life. Swans often touch beaks to kiss. When they kiss, their necks form a heart. Geese are highly social animals. If they are raised around other livestock and fowl, they usually get along well with them. Goose is actually the term for female geese. Male geese are called ganders. Geese eat seeds, nuts, grass, plants and berries. As goslings, ducks and geese will bond with the first suitable moving stimulus, no matter if this is a goose, person or even an object. They remain dedicated to that person or object as their surrogate parent throughout their lives. Geese always fly in the shape of a V, as it allows at least 71% greater flying range. When the goose in the lead gets tired, another goose takes over the position. Geese are very loyal. They mate for life and are protective of their partners and offspring. Geese express a mourning behavior when they lose their mating partner or their eggs. They have strong affections for others in their group. If a goose gets sick or is wounded, a couple of other geese may drop out of formation to help and protect him. That's some of the wildlife you can see when you gonna fish in some part of Romania, but you need to be updated, because there have some months that they ban fishing. Some last a few weeks or months annually. These seasonal bans are designed to protect fish during their breeding seasons. A fishing ban could help bolster populations of the fish needed to clean away this suffocating slime. You can try also. The wild duck hunting offers us a lot of satisfactions while also challenging our skills in handling the gun. If you're passionate of wild ducks, don't miss this trip. When shooting wild ducks, there is no daily limit on the number of ducks shot. Hunting wild ducks at the middle of the autumn or at the end of the winter can be combined very well with dove shooting, and later on with shooting pheasants and other small game. Ducks are birds. Ducks are also called waterfowl because they are normally found in places where there is water like ponds, streams, and rivers. Ducks can live up to 20 years, depending on the species and if well cared for. The production of eggs is affected by daylight. When there is more daylight, the ducks will lay more eggs. The eggs will hatch within 28 days normally, except for the Muscovy duck, which takes about 35 days to hatch. The mother duck will keep her brood of ducklings together to protect them from predators. Ducks are a group of species of water birds relatively small in size and with shorter necks than their close cousins of swans and geese. Along with their longer-necked cousins, they make up the biological family of Anatidae. Humans have had a long relationship with members of this family by being economically and culturally important to us. Ducks, in particular, have been domesticated to be exploited for their feathers, eggs and meat.
So, ayan, ganyan yung mga ginagawa. So, ganyan yung mga ginagawa namin kapag nagpi-fishing kami. So, hindi nyo nakikita yung mga isda kasi tinatapon din namin sa pabalik. So, maliit lang yung kawil nung fishing rod namin. So, mga nakukuha din namin mga isda maliliit. So, ginagawa namin, tinatapon ulit namin. Parang pinapatay lang namin isda. So, pinapatay lang namin talaga yung mga isda. Ganon, pinagkakatuwaan lang talaga namin. So, ganun lang naman yung mga ginagawa namin kapag wala kaming pasok, pag hindi nagiinom, na nangingisda. Fisherwoman na kami dito. Taghirap kami dito kasi mangingisda lang kami. So, ayan, that's all for today. This is the Filipino Wanderer. Barog song that and share and like, subscribe. Ciao!